Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Bengal Magazine. And if I can, a month late, Happy New Year, since it's my first time on the show since the new year. Let's talk about the show. Track and field is going to kick things off. Head coach Eugene Lewis is joining us, and Eugene is bringing along Treasure Glimp, his senior from the Bronx. And then Kevin Clifford, head coach of women's basketball, is bringing along Britt Perry, the senior guard from right down the road, Hutch Tech. And then men's hoop is joining us. No coach with men's hoop. We're going to talk to the student athletes. Jordan Glover, a junior guard from St. Joe's, and Michael Henry, a sophomore guard from Syracuse, New York, is joining us. The Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week will be on the show, as well as Bengal Update with Rebecca Coleman. So we've got a fun-filled show. Let's take a quick break, and we'll talk track when we come back. All right, let's talk a little track and field, and track and field is exciting to talk about because it's a terrific program here at Buffalo State. Eugene Lewis, the head coach of the Bengals, joins us along with Treasure Glimp, his outstanding senior from the Bronx. We were talking off camera about these invitationals and how you set up your schedule, et cetera, et cetera. Just coming off a win at the Baldwin Wallace Invitational down in Ohio. Both the men and the women, 15, 16 teams took part. Is that a significant victory as track and field goes?
Well, it's significant from the standpoint that during the regular season, a lot of the track meets are considered open meets, which a lot of schools participate in, but they don't keep score. Okay. So with some of the invitationals, they select schools that are similar in talent, and they keep score during the meet, somewhat like a championship meet. Mm-hmm. So to come out in first place in both areas with the men and women is relatively significant for our program because of the amount of teams and the amount of performance it requires to kind of win a meet of that size. And
this young lady had a terrific meet. Treasure is the conference, the SUNYAC Conference Field Athlete of the Week in track and field. Won the triple jump at 11.11 meters, second in the 55 hurdles at 8.68, and third in the high jump at 1.60 meters. And I'm always curious when I talk to track athletes because, you know, when I consider growing up, it was baseball and football and basketball, you know, and here you are, an elite athlete in track and field. And I look at this triple jump, which is a very unusual event. How did you first learn about the triple jump and get really good at it?
Well, I did long jump in high school.
Okay.
And I wasn't really like a good long jumper in high school, so like triple jump was like the next best thing. Like my sister, she was a really good like triple jumper in high school.
Okay.
So I basically like got it from her. So I always wanted to like do just as good as she was doing because she was like a really good triple jumper. So that's really what got me into it.
So you're doing not only as good, but you're probably doing much better than her. I'm gonna make that assumption. What is your favorite of these three? I mean, you're an elite in three different events. Which one do you like the best?
Triple jump is my favorite. So,
oh, any particular reason why?
I feel like every time I do triple jump, I'm always progressing at it. So I like it because there's always like room for like just to get better in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes sense considering it is a triple jump. Coach, last season, 8th in the nation, this team indoor. Does that flow over into the 15-16 season, that kind of momentum?
Yeah, yes, it does. You know, it's difficult at times when you have seniors that are a part of that much success. Kind of leave the program and graduate from the college, but at the same time, the experience that the young ladies who still have time, who studied under them, who trained with them, so on and so forth, it's a very good motivator, and it builds a lot of confidence in the younger athletes to have high expectations and actually realize that they can reach them. So our young ladies coming into this year expect to at least put themselves in position to do as well.
Okay. Let me follow that up then. Expectation is a strong word. We dropped a banner a couple weeks ago showing the SUNYAC championships and winning the SUNYAC championship. I guess my question is there a realistic expectation for this program to win a national championship?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that we always started off with from a philosophical standpoint with our staff is we have to be consistent in winning conference championships. Year in and year out, Cortland State, Geneseo, Oneonta, these are very good programs nationally. So to be able to beat those schools in a conference championship scenario is a very good indicator of the possibility of your national standing. So we always start the year off trying to be dominant in the SUNYAC, and we know that that gives us the opportunity to rank nationally.
I want to get back to that, but I want Treasure, interesting, because track is very much an individualistic sport, and then you score points, etc. So personal goals mean team goals as well, I would assume. How do you approach this season? What are your goals? You're in 3 separate events, I mean, and maybe more. What are your goals? What are your personal goals for this season?
Well, my personal goals, well, for high jump, I would like to clear 5.5. That's,
okay.
I think that's 1.65 meters.
Okay.
So, like, that's one of my personal goals for high jump.
Reachable, I'm assuming.
Reachable.
All right.
That's also a national qualifier.
And a national qualifier.
And in the hurdles, I would like to, like, my personal best right now is 9.1.
Okay.
I would like to get that down to, like, at least like a 8.8.
Okay.
Also, like, a national qualifying mark.
Great.
And for a triple jump, I would like to, I'm not sure what it is in meters, but
Okay.
I would like to jump like 39 feet. That's also breaking the indoor school record too.
Ah, now that's a great goal. And then obviously she's looking forward to the NCAAs.
Absolutely, because if you accomplish the goals or the standards that she
Correct.
has set, they are all national standards.
Okay. Coach, we have about a minute left, and I'm very curious about the training and your focus as we come to the end of the season. There's the Brockport meet this weekend, and then SUNYACs the following weekend, and then a very important ECAC where 60 or so teams are there, and then the NCAAs. Every weekend there's something else. Are you focused? Is it full pedal down for every single one of these meets, or is there a certain focus for you and the student athletes?
Our main goal, and you know, it kind of comes from the top down, is we want to be successful in the SUNYAC, and so it's really important for us from a team perspective to channel all our energy into trying to have a successful SUNYAC championship experience.
Okay.
There are individuals who are elite in different events and so on and so forth, and the staff, Coach Shadowins, Coach Allen, we do a very good job of preparing those individuals for the national level. So we're kind of working our hands in 2 different directions,
Gotcha.
more towards a team-oriented function that will allow them to prepare for SUNYACs, and then we have individuals that we have to continue to train to be elite.
Well, that's absolutely fascinating, and I wish you both the best of luck the rest of the season, and thanks for being on the show. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk women's basketball with Kevin Clifford. Stay with us. Well, congratulations are going out to this week's Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week, and it's Taylor Price from men's hockey. The junior business major had 7 points and a pair of victories that helped Buffalo State secure a SUNYAC playoff berth for the 6th consecutive season. Taylor had a pair of assists in a 3-2 overtime win over Geneseo on February 12th, including an assist on the game winner. Taylor also scored 2 goals with 3 assists in the Bengals' 7-3 win at Brockport the following night. Taylor is from Newmarket, Ontario, and leads the team in scoring right now with 27 points on 13 goals and 14 assists. So again, congratulations to Taylor Price, this week's Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week. And we're joined now by women's basketball. And Kevin Clifford, the first-year coach of the Bengals, joins us, along with Britt Perry, the senior guard from Hutch Tech, right down the road. So, you know, Coach, this has been quite a year for women's basketball from the start right on through, a couple key injuries. You've been through a lot of basketball. You played Division I and Division II. You've been coaching. Just kind of curious on, when you reflect back on this year, what your thoughts are coming in September, kind of a late hire, and then boom, a month later you're practicing already, and then game starts. So what's it been like?
It definitely has been a challenge.
Yeah.
New coaching staff, new players, learning the system and learning terminology and learning plays and learning how we want things done. So I think we're building towards the future, which is a good thing. But this year has been a challenge, a lot of adversity. but I'm proud of the team of not quitting and being resilient. We did go through a 3-game winning streak, so I think we did see some improvement.
Right.
But this year has been a challenge, but I'm proud of the girls for working hard and sticking with it, and ups and downs.
Yeah. So. Brett, he reflects on something, and I'm kind of curious. You've been in the system for a number of years, and then we have a new coach, and he's talking about new terminology, new way of maybe his type of basketball and his style of basketball. How difficult was it for you and the team to adjust? Did it take you a number of games before you kind of figuring, okay, now I know what he's looking for here?
Like you said, throughout the whole season, there was just like a lot of adversity. We did have to learn who he was as a person, and the same for him. He had to know exactly what type of teammates he was dealing with. So we all have different personalities. So I also feel like not just learning the new terminology, but also facing the adversity with losing Taylor Graham, our starting point guard, and then also having other injuries such as Clarissa Matias, who injured her shoulder. So it was just a lot, but that was something that we had to deal with and really like move forward with, and come different for each game, and just keep continuing.
Yeah, that's very interesting. What have you liked about this team? I mean, there's a lot to like about this team when I watch this team. What are you taking away from this season in terms of the positives and maybe building on that?
Yeah, I think they played together. I think they were unselfish. I think they played an exciting style of basketball in terms of up-tempo. We're second in scoring now. We were number 1. We do got to work on some other things moving forward. We did make some adjustments mid-season, and I think that did help us down the road, changing our defensive style a little bit. So it was a lot of learning curves. At the beginning, we were really up-tempo pressing, and then with the number, with injuries and just the number issue, we kind of went more half-court style.
Right.
So I love the leadership from Brittany Perry every day, bringing it from practice, staying before practice, after practice.
That's great.
So I think leadership is very important. Yes, we didn't win as many games as people expected. There's still 2 games.
Absolutely.
The season still is going. So I try to approach it one day at a time. You do plan ahead, but I try to, one practice at a time, one game at a time.
Gotcha. Britt, how has your, let's reflect. I know it's a team game, but there's an ME in team too. But so let's reflect on your personal goals this season. You're coming off a terrific game at Fredonia, 21 points, 10 rebounds, leading the team in scoring, second, I believe, in rebounding, averaging about 32 minutes a game. How has the season gone for you?
For me, at the end of the day, I enjoyed this season, and I've learned from it a lot. Even though it is disappointing not making playoffs, but I feel personally like I've met my goals.
Great.
I was announced SUNYAC Player of the Week. Also, I've earned 2 Player of the Week for Buffalo State.
That's right.
So I'm pretty impressed for what I've done. I feel like I've improved throughout the years.
Yeah, I am too, by the way.
Yes.
I think a lot of us are, so good on you. You had mentioned these last 2 games, and they're important for W's and the record, et cetera. And how do you approach these last 2 games, coaches? Are you looking forward, or are you coaching in the moment and doing what you normally would do during the season?
I try to emphasize enjoy the moment to the players, so we're focused on the now. Obviously, you're always planning ahead and looking ahead. You want to build off yesterday. But these 2 games, I approach it one game at a time, and we're focused on New Paltz. So it is a challenge in terms of you're not playing for playoffs, but you're playing for something. You're playing for seniors, you're playing for your season, you're playing for goals that we made for the beginning of the year. So I think you're always playing for something. I think we got to approach it like these are our playoffs.
Yeah,
these are the top 2 teams in the conference. My college coach used to say you're only as good as your last game. And I think Friday and Saturday we could prove that we belong with the top of the teams.
Right. So the season ends. Then what happens? Then you get a recruiting season underneath you. What are your immediate goals? We've got about a minute left in this segment. What are your immediate goals after the season ends in terms of recruiting?
Yeah, I want to speak on Brittany real quick.
Sure,
great leader, number 4 in scoring in the conference, 1,000-point scorer. So a lot of people forget about that. She was Athlete of the Week. She was SUNYAC Player of the Week. She's number 1 in assists on our team. She had to play different positions once Taylor Graham went down. So I think everybody had to play different positions, and she stepped up. She kind of went through that 3-game winning streak. She really carried us.
Right.
Moving forward for next year,
Thank you for doing that. That's important to know.
We'll have a senior day Saturday and play for K-Day. After that, we'll regroup. I'll be back in the office on Sunday, ready to go for for next year. The players will take some time off. The seniors, they're still part of the program, so we'll have an end-of-the-year meeting and then moving forward. But recruiting all year round.
Yeah.
But we're building for the future. I'm excited about the program. We have great facilities, great support, so I'm excited. I think we have a good core coming back next year with Keontae Edwards and Caleb McLean, and Taylor Grant will be back, so people forget about that. So
from California.
Yeah, so and we have some other players coming in from out of state and in-state that are already committed, so we're excited about the program.
And we should note that we're excited about a big birthday coming up for Coach Clifford. 40, big 4-0 pops up, and he'll be celebrating down in Queens, he told us off camera. So happy birthday, Coach. Didn't mean to embarrass you. And good luck on the last 2 games, and enjoy every moment of it, Britt. We are going to take a quick break, but before we do, I do want to remind you that it may have, we may be in winter and there may be snow out there, but I'm thinking golf. The Bengal Club Golf Classic is Monday, July 11th at the Briarwood Country Club. If you're interested in sponsoring or playing, please call me at 878-6514 or visit the website listed on the screen for the annual Bengal Club Golf Tournament benefiting the 400 student athletes here at Buffalo State. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk men's hoops. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to Bengal Update. I'm Rebecca Coleman here with the recap of news and a look at the upcoming events surrounding Buffalo State athletics. Women's hockey had quite the weekend. The Bengals swept Cortland in an ECAC West doubleheader. In a 2-1 win over the Red Dragons, Buffalo State clinched the first ever playoff game in program history. The next night, the Bengals rolled past Cortland, shutting out the Red Dragons 4-0. Senior Nikki Kirchberger matched a school record playing in her 100th career game on Saturday. She also moved into sole possession of second place on the school's all-time scoring list with 61 career points off 31 goals and 30 assists. Buffalo State will close out the ECAC West regular season with a pair of games at Utica next Saturday and Sunday to likely determine the number 3 and 4 seeds entering the playoffs. Men's hockey also had a 2-0 weekend. The Bengals clinched a spot in the SUNYAC playoffs with a 3-2 overtime win against number 11 Geneseo on Friday night. The next night, Buffalo State cruised past Brockport 7-3. With the win, Buffalo State matched a school record for wins in a season with 13 set in 2011-12 and 2012-13. Taylor Price and Mac Wood were named this week's SUNYAC Men's Hockey Player and Rookie of the Week respectively, after helping the Bengals secure a playoff berth for the 6th consecutive season. Buffalo State will wrap up the regular season at home this weekend against Oswego on Friday and Cortland on Saturday. Swimming and diving concluded its regular season this past weekend at the 5-team Geneseo Invite. Connor Mergler and Allison Kolzinski each posted victories to lead the Bengals. Mergler won the 200 IM with a time of 2:04.30 and also placed second in the 200 free. Kolzinski was victorious in the 1,000 free in 11 minutes and 31 seconds and placed 5th in the 100 free. The Bengals compete at the SUNYAC Championships at the Flickinger Aquatic Center this Wednesday through Sunday. Men's basketball finished the week 1-1. On Tuesday, the Bengals traveled to Geneseo and defeated the Knights 92-87. Nico McLean led the Buffalo State offense with a double-double and a key 3-point play in the closing minute. Friday night, the Bengals nearly erased a double-digit deficit in the final 4 minutes, but ultimately fell to Fredonia 91-88 in a Battle by the Lake matchup. Kevin Marmalejos led the Bengals with 21 points, including 5 3-pointers. Buffalo State will host a pair of SUNYAC games to close out the regular season against New Paltz on Friday and Oneonta on Saturday. Women's basketball fell in both games this week. The Bengals lost at Geneseo on Tuesday night 87-34. On Friday night, Buffalo State fell just short in a Battle by the Lake matchup, losing at Fredonia 85-78. Britt Perry led the Bengals with a double-double, tallying 21 points and 10 rebounds. Clarissa Matias added 15 points and 4 assists. Buffalo State will host a pair of SUNYAC games this weekend to end the season, taking on New Paltz on Friday and Oneonta on Saturday. Track and field traveled to Ohio this past weekend. The men's team captured first place in the 15-team Baldwin-Wallace mid-February meet, winning 7 events. Freshman Dwight Corley provided a spark, winning the triple jump with the 13th best mark in Division III, measuring 14.25 meters. The Bengal women claimed the top 5 finishes in the 400-meter dash and won 6 events to take first place as well. Sasha Van led the Bengals in the 400-meter dash with the 9th best time in Division III at 58.18 seconds. Treasure Glimpf was named SUNYAC Field Athlete of the Week, winning the triple jump, coming in 2nd in the 55-meter dash, and finishing 3rd in the high jump. Buffalo State will compete at Brockport on Saturday in the final tune-up before the SUNYAC Championships. Reporting for Buffalo State Athletics, I'm Rebecca Coleman. And now back to you, Tom.
And thank you, Rebecca, for Bengal Update. Appreciate that throwback. We're joined now by men's basketball, Jordan Glover, the junior from St. Joe's here in Buffalo, the guard, and Michael Henry joins us, also a guard, a sophomore from Syracuse, New York. Guys, thanks for joining us. I'm kind of curious, when I do my research for the show, I look back on this season, and I've watched you guys at home a lot, and I look and I go, wow, this has kind of like been a roller coaster. I mean, you get off to a hot start, you win, I think, 6 straight and 9 of 10, and I'm like, holy smokes, what do we got here? And you cool off a little bit, then you get a little hot. In your estimation, Jordan, I mean, how's the season gone so far?
Kind of like what you said, it's been an up and down season. When we play a lot of the, quote unquote, better teams that are in the conference, we kind of play up to the potential that they are, and then we play the lesser teams, if you say, we kind of play down to the competition and we slip up in those type of games and we make them a lot closer than they need to be. But like you said early in the year, when we were playing, like at the Lehman tournament, when we played the Nazareths and, teams like that,
right?
We figured, let's just come out strong. Let's just, play our game, try to run them out of the gym early. And we kind of got away from that, once we got in the conference play. But I think it's more so, us just,
understanding every game is an important game.
Every game is important,
Yeah.
From
Do you agree with that from an intensity standpoint? He's kind of mentioning the top teams, maybe the Plattsburghs and the Brockports, besides the Buff States, and you guys are playing them very well, and then maybe,
Yeah.
What do you think?
To follow up on what Jordan was saying,
Sure.
I do agree that we do play down to the competition.
Okay.
For, say, New Paltz, we were just talking about.
Yeah.
We were their first conference win, and that looks terrible on us.
Yeah. Good for them, bad for us.
Yeah, good for them, bad for us. Also, Fredonia, who
Yep.
we just come off a loss to.
Yep.
That's terrible, too. Coming from a standpoint of we supposed to be in the playoffs, we shouldn't have to play for certain spots. We should make our own spot,
Right.
as in the top 3, if not the top,
Right.
top 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look at you and I see this boot on your foot, and I'm like, okay, what does that mean exactly? Explain what you've got there and when it all happened.
Well, I sprained my Achilles about 2 weeks ago. We were in practice. We were doing a sprinting drill, and then we'll walk. And then, one time we went from walking, and then Coach showed us a sprint, and I kind of just felt something, just something wasn't right back there. And
Didn't
I kinda,
pop though, right? Let's hope.
No, it didn't tear completely.
Okay.
I thought it was one of my teammates actually playing behind me and tried to kick me or something like that. I'm like,
Ooh.
I turned around, and I'm like, nobody's behind me. I tried to walk, and I'm like, this just isn't right. And
Okay.
then Derek Fernandez went and got Jeff for me, the trainer.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
And then, after
So
that,
we're in a
just-
boot now, and what does that mean prognosis-wise?
Well, we just talked yesterday.
Day by day type thing?
Probably a couple more weeks about.
Okay. You guys, I mean, are leaders on the team too, even though you're underclassmen. And I want to ask you about that. Jordan, you're averaging 10 points a game, having another nice season, and Michael, 15 points a game, shooting 56% from the field. Do you consider yourself leaders on the team, and in what way? And let me start with Mike. Are you expected to score 15 and shoot well, and are you expected to be the leader?
I believe to be one of them at least, if
Yeah.
not one of the starting 5.
Okay.
Or the 5 that's in at that
Yep.
certain time. Scoring 15 a game, I feel like that should just be regular for this whole starting 5, which
Okay.
it will be in the next couple games going into playoffs.
Yep.
We just need to all pick it up as a group, and that's not even the starting 5. That's all 14 of us.
You, a leader, junior, do you consider yourself a leader on the court?
Oh yeah, I definitely, look at myself as an extension of Coach, on the floor.
Okay.
And I'll say that for a lot of the guys. Mike is probably one of our most vocal leaders when it comes to getting people inspired. Trying to keep everybody encouraged. I look at myself more as just, just trying to make sure everybody knows what we're in on
Right.
defense and what we're running on offense and things like that. If you're playing a loud game, it's kind of hard to hear Coach at times, but You know, so we have a lot of players that I think that are considered leaders on the team. We just all lead in different types of ways.
Gotcha. Well, I can tell your intensity's already up. I feel like I need to play for you right now. You got me going here, guys. So best of luck. Should be a nice crowd here Friday and Saturday, and invite everybody to come out to the sports arena and root on the Bengals. Thanks a lot, and best of luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Bengal Magazine. Thanks to everybody here in Instructional Resources and you for viewing in. We'll see you again in 2 weeks for more Bengal Magazine.